my goodness. The most insane storm after a week of absolutely beautiful weather. All night long the van has been shaking. It's so loud on the roof, I just couldn't sleep. And now it's like thunder and lightning and it's crazy. I've lost poles. Need to do some repair work. Good morning from a grey and rainy and cold morning. It's been a grey and rainy and cold week actually, which has been nice because I gave myself a week to do absolutely nothing. I made sure I had a week's worth of food. I didn't need to go anywhere or drive anywhere or do anything, and it was kind of blissful actually. I love it when the weather is appropriate for my mood. Anyway, before I get started, I did want to tell you about this beautiful jumper I'm wearing. And I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Bev, who has a YouTube channel called Dottie's Adventures. She has a little micro camper, or she had a little micro camper called Dottie. And I just like her vibe. I really love her. She's really sweet. She's in the UK. Anyway, in one of her videos, she was wearing this exact same jumper, and I just went bonkers because I have been looking for this style of jumper. I think they call it Fair Isle, with the design around the shoulders like the yoke style, but the colors and everything were just so perfect. And I'm like, oh, where did you get that jumper? I want one. And I know a few of you commented on my jumper as well. And she told me she got it from Temu, and I'm like, I'm the biggest anti-Temu person on the planet. And I was like, oh, but I really want that jumper. So I actually did go onto their website. Oh my gosh, it's crazy making. Spin the wheel, claim your free prize, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not at a casino. I just want a jumper. Anyway, bypass all that crap. I literally didn't get sucked into the free gift and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I just got this jumper. It was $30. I think it was $30. So thank you, Bev, for sharing your jumper source with me. I don't recommend going to Temu, but it is a cute little jumper. This one is actually really warm. I do have a long sleeve t-shirt underneath it, but you know, it's like, I don't know, 10 degrees and I'm perfectly warm. And now my car is fogging up, so this is going to be fun. We don't have fancy things like defogging window things in an old truck like this, so we're just going to have to hope for the best. Anyway, my mechanic called me yesterday, and the solar panel trickle charger kit has arrived. Funnily enough, he actually ordered that from Temu, because when he told me it was on Temu, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I was like, can I just give you the money and you can order it? So he's ordered it for me, bless him. So we're off to do that now. Bearing in mind, I haven't started the truck in a week and it is cold. So I don't know how we're going to go. Pump the gas a few times. That's usually how we get it going. Hope for the best. See how we go. Yeah, that's pretty usual. She doesn't like a cold start at the best of times. Realistically, like if I start it and drive it today, then tomorrow and the next day it'll start first go and it's fine. It's just, it doesn't like sitting around very much. I might talk to the mechanic about that if there's something, maybe an electric fuel pump or something like that might be able to get it better starting on a cold start. I love my truck. This is the ordeal. This is not a fast getaway car. I pump it a few times, I try it, I pump it a few more times, I kind of wait a minute to just let the petrol settle in, because if I pump it too much and end up with too much fuel up in the carburetor, then I get a boom. I get a nice boom backfire. So I'm trying to avoid that. There's a system. There's a system. Let's see. Oh, she's cold. She's very cold today, Pixie. So Pixie's got a cute little Argyle type jumper on today too. Gonna go see the mechanic? Yeah. She's shivering. She's so funny. I'll just clip her harness into the seatbelt. Let's give it another go. Oh, there we go. She turned over. It's all good, puppy. You can come next to me. It's not that cold. Okay. This one will be it. This one will be it. For sure. Oh, no. Give it a little bit more gas. Petrol. I just start talking American when I'm in the truck. I will give you a bit of a backstory about the truck, because somebody actually commented and said I had been watching you for ages and didn't realize that your truck was left-hand drive. Yes, it is left-hand drive. It's a 1971 Ford F100 Ranger XLT with a 390 V8. I've owned it since 2014. 2014, I think I bought it. 2014. That's when I moved to the States. Bought it off my next door neighbour. Oh, a little bit of a boom. I don't know if I told the story before, but anyway, I had a lovely old man. Actually, he was across the road from me, and him and his wife, they were Jehovah's Witnesses. They were always trying to recruit me. I did go to the temple with them once, and you know, I'm very open-minded to anything, and it just wasn't for me, but I don't discriminate against whatever spirituality path you choose. There she goes. Yeehaw! Let her warm up a little bit. Anyway, he used to love Elvis, and I love Elvis, and he would, oftentimes I'd meet him in places, like we'd bump into each other up at the shops and stuff, and he'd always say, "Hop in, I'll sing you an Elvis song." Oh, she's blowing a bit of smoke. Feel sorry for my neighbours when that happens. Anyway, he ended up getting dementia, which was really, really sad, and he couldn't remember me or anybody. And I used to go with his wife and go visit him in the dementia ward, and we'd just sing songs. It was lovely. Yeah, he was such a sweet guy. Anyway, this truck was not their usual car. They had another car that they drove around in, but the only reason they used this truck was to take rubbish to the tip, because we didn't have rubbish collection in the little town that I lived in. So it was kind of a, you know, once a month it ran to the local tip kind of thing. So it's got really, really low miles on it at the moment, and I've driven it quite a bit, but it's got 66,409 miles, so it's really, really low miles. So it was in immaculate original condition. Apart from the seats were, the vinyl on the seats was all cracked and crispy, and it used to poke me in the butt, so I did have it reupholstered, and this hood lining redone in a nice kind of off-white vinyl to match the roof. It wasn't originally what they call Wimbledon white on the roof. It was originally mallard green, which is kind of like a racing car forest kind of green, you know, like British racing car green. I hated it. The clash of the dark green with the beautiful pale green original color was just, so I had that repainted as well in Wimbledon white, which is also a Ford color from this era. So, and then obviously I'm color matched the Caravan. These are little things I did bit by bit by bit. So, you know, I started off with a $2,500 truck. That's how much it cost. And a $3,000 Caravan, and then as I could, I slowly did little bits and things to make it look pretty. When I realized that, you know, I was never going to be in a position to buy a house anymore because that goalpost just kept running further away, I decided to put all of my energy and whatever money I could get my hands on into just making my rolling home as appealing to me as possible, as if it was my house and I was renovating it. So she seems pretty happy now. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Alright, let's go do this thing. We're going to go for a drive. Okay, I'm at the mechanic now, but he's got 2 cars in the bay already at the moment, so I'll just sit here for a little minute and wait. Pixie, we're not getting out. You just stay here where you're snugly and warm. So anyway, back to how I got the truck. So yeah, when the owner had gone into the dementia ward, his wife, we used to hang out a little bit, and she said, I think he would really want you to have the truck. So that was pretty special. I came back to Australia in 2019, and really because I was facing homelessness at that stage. My health wasn't great. My business was just sinking. I couldn't maintain it. And I was looking at buying another caravan that I could live in. I started noticing more and more homeless people living in vans and buses and things, and trying to wrap my head around that being my new life path, because I couldn't maintain the rent on the beautiful apartment I was living in, even though it was only $6.95 a month. I was still struggling. So yeah, this realization that if I'm going to be a homeless person on disability in America, I might never be able to come back to Australia financially and see my children, and that was just devastating to me. So I came back, and I also had this weird feeling that something terrible could happen and the borders could close, and if I wanted to get back I couldn't. And it was interesting because it was only a few months later that COVID hit the world. So you know, I'm glad I did come back. I brought the truck in. Well, I'd made arrangements to bring the truck in. I was driving the little Toyota Camry that I'd just left here in Australia. It was like a $2,000 2001 Toyota Camry that just never died, and it pulled my caravan no problem. My caravan's really lightweight. It's aluminium framed, and it's the original weight of it before you put anything on it was only 920 kilos. So you can tow it with a 6-cylinder car, or you could then. Now I've had the chassis like reinforced with extra steel, the air conditioning put on it, and you know, big thick double inner spring mattress, and obviously I've been living in it for a long time. Like, the weight has gone up, and when I had it weighed it was 1,390 kilos. Now it's with all the reinforcement. Oh, and extended the drawbar and had the drawbar rebuilt. Like, it's a lot stronger van than it was then. That was all after it got destroyed, and I had the insurance paid for all that, thankfully, so that was good. So yeah, so to bring it back, yeah, it was originally going to go to Brisbane, and I was going to do a lap around Australia, and you know, I'd started in Brisbane, and I was going to got the caravan and was going to do this full lap, and pick the truck up in Brisbane after my lap, because I didn't think it would be a very economical way to do a lap around Australia in this. And like I said, COVID happened, lockdowns happened, that plan got on pause. I'd made arrangements for the truck to be shipped through a shipping agent. A friend of mine in America, Robert, he'd met me in a heap in tears in the post office in this little teeny tiny town that we lived in at the worst possible moment. Like, I felt like my whole world was falling apart, and he was so sweet and kind to me. He actually paid for the truck to be shipped back for me, and it cost $1,800 for the shipping, which is about 2.5 Australian, I think it was at the time. He also paid for Pixie to be brought over with me, which was really above and beyond kindness. I tell you, the kindness of strangers has been the only thing that at times when I probably could have lost my faith, the kindness of these angels in my life has just reaffirmed my faith again and again and again. And I feel so really blessed and looked after. And that makes me think, well, you know, whatever you want to call it, the universe or God, the angels, I feel very, very much guided, protected, and uplifted by the signs that humanity and the world is a beautiful place. So, and even, you know, things like coming across a really amazing mechanic like I'm at now, like, who has really looked after me well as well. And that's really affirming, you know, because I have a lot of doubts. I have a lot of doubts about my place in the world because I've never fitted in anywhere. I've tried to fit in everywhere I've been, and there's a lot of reasons why that is, and it could have been because I've been a traveler all my life ever since I was little. I have spoken to my mum about it, and she's like, we were moving, you know, dragging you kids all around the world like that. You never got a chance to make long-term friendships, to be involved in activities and sports and hobbies, you know, with any consistency. Your ability to navigate human interaction may have been limited by that. And obviously, you know, being then finally, after years of wondering what's wrong with me, why can't I do normal like everybody else can, even though I try so hard, being finally assessed by a psychiatrist and being diagnosed autistic, and there's possibly some ADHD in there as well, which would be ADHD, I think they call it now. But yeah, I definitely am not neurotypical, and that made so much more sense to me. I was like, oh, that makes sense, you know, like I didn't know what that meant, but afterwards obviously I looked into it, and the whole thing started because I happened to pick up a book at a caravan park. Actually, it wasn't even a caravan park, it was one of those real cheap kind of community car park. I think it was a Lions Park I was camping in when I was in somewhere in the Wimmera Mallee. I can't remember. Repanyup. Oh yeah, they didn't let me stay more than 3 days. I wasn't feeling well. I was really struggling then too. Anyway, I just happened to pick up a free book you know, that people leave books, that like a swap and go book thing at a lot of camp places, and it was called Look Me in the Eyes, I think that was the title. I will look up the book and put it in case any of you are interested in have neurodivergency, which I think quite a few of you do. And the reason that appealed to me and I grabbed that book was because I've never been able to look people in the eye, and it used to get me in a lot of trouble as a kid, especially when, you know, you're getting in trouble in school like all the time, not because I was like willfully naughty, but just because I was easily distracted and a little bit of a chatterbox, and I don't know why, but anyway, I got picked on a lot at school. And, you know, when the teachers are telling you off and you'd get sent to the headmaster's office, oh my gosh, all the time, or the principal, and they'd say, look at me when I'm talking to you. And that was just like so confronting for me. So that's why I picked up this book. Anyway, the book was about, I think it's the guy who wrote it is writing about his brother who was autistic. And as I read this book, it was like, it was like looking in a mirror. It was like, oh my gosh, I feel like that. I feel like that. Yeah. So anyway, I'd been diagnosed with so many other wrongful things in my years and treated for things that never helped, and been dismissed by people for labels I'd been given that didn't ever fit, and even the doctors had said it never fitted, that I said to my doctor, I want an actual full proper assessment. I want to find out what's wrong with me. I'm so tired of people saying there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you, but they're not inside my head, and they're not living the experience of trying to navigate a life that seems pretty easy for normal people, but I'm not. And I said, if everybody was just like me, there would be like this mass exodus from the planet. We'd all just jump off because it was too hard. So so I had like a full, proper, extensive assessment, and it came back that I was very, very autistic. And the things that came out in the actual assessment actually surprised me. There were things that she picked up on that I hadn't even noticed. And Lisa does not perceive facial cues. So she must have been like making different faces and different expressions, and I wasn't like noticing that, which makes sense because I've got face blindness, so I don't read facial expressions. I perceive an energetic shift, but I don't notice faces, and maybe that's partly what makes communication really difficult. You've got to be really upfront with me. You've got to say it exactly like it is, and that I don't do the nuances of communication. I don't understand the read between the lines type stuff. I don't get it. I'm just going to take it on face value, and I just get hurt over and over again from that. I've been the butt of people's jokes. They tolerate me, but then they sort of rib me and tease me. Oh, come on, Lisa, you know I don't mean half the things I say. Oh, you know I'm only joking. My feelings are hurt. I don't want to be the one you have around because I'm amusing. You know, I'm so tired of that. I'm masking to fit in, trying to do what other people want me to do. It never worked for me, and that's why I'm alone. That's why I'm alone, and I'm not lonely. There have been times when I pine for the type of connections that I see other people have, gatherings of friends at a cafe. My mum is very, very social. She's like, oh, I'm off to see so-and-so. I'm catching up with so-and-so. I'm going to the beach with so-and-so. I'm going to dinner with so-and-so. Like, that's normal, I guess. But for me, I think, oh, I don't want to do those things. Like, the only reason I look at them wistfully when I see people living a life like that is because I think, oh, it just makes me feel like, oh, what's wrong with me that I don't want that, and I don't have that, and that I've always, ever since I can remember, from a little girl, 7 years old, just wandering off up the paddocks, sitting under trees, being in nature by myself. That's where I feel peace and contentment, and so I'm not lonely, really. It's just people think I'm lonely when they see my life, and people try to engage me like at campgrounds. Oh, come and have a drink, come and do this, come and sit with us. And I don't really want to, because if I do, it's going to be really tense and awkward for me, and I'm spending energy trying to make this feel comfortable when quite often it doesn't. Anyway, I can hear some cars moving around behind me. I better go check in with my beautiful mechanic and see what's going on. The little baby solar panel has arrived.
Just got to work out how to open it.
Okay.
There we go. Like so.
Some more things to attach to my battery. And we need to find some kind of way to get through the firewall. That's going to be a challenge. Burning holes.
It's not very often you want to put a hole in a rubber, I don't want to tell you.
So this is what we've ended up with, is the solar charger controller is actually in the glove box, and the wire just came straight through there. As you can see, it's currently pulling in 12.6 volts, and it says it's charging my battery, which is cool. It just sits in the glove box like that, and then the little wire just comes up here, and I've got the solar panel sitting there on the dash. Cool, hey? So stoked. I just got back from a glorious shower, washed my hair. I tell you what, when I do my last 2 minutes of cold in the shower doing the Wim Hof thing, it's getting really cold at the end, but it's surprising how your body just gets so used to it to the point where I really like it. But yeah, it was icy. It was definitely an icy last 2 minutes. But the good thing about turning it to full cold when at the end of your shower, when you're washing your clean and everything's done, you just have 2 minutes just in the cold, is that even if it's cold outside, if you've cold showered yourself and then you turn the water off, you actually feel toasty warm on the inside when you step out, and for hours later, which is a really good benefit. And it also happens when you go cold swimming. Anyway, I just wanted to update because I've been talking about Bev, Dottie's Adventures, that had put me on this gorgeous jumper, and I just found out because she had sold Dottie one, the micro camper, and she's just bought another one. She needed one with more seats in the front. She needed a 3-seater in the front. So she's just bought one. So congratulations, Bev, on your new Dottie. It's called Dottie 2, which I'm glad about because I actually sent her a little travel journal and I was like, here's to many more adventures in Dottie. And then she sold it and I was like, oh no, but she's kept the name. So that's kind of cute. So yeah, if you want to watch Dottie's Adventures, well, she's just got a completely raw original van, like gutted out inside, and she's going to completely deck it out, and I'm really looking forward to following that transformation of her new camper van and more adventures, definitely. So yeah, check her channel out. I will put a link in the description for her channel. The sun is actually just peeping out a little bit, and it's looking like it's going to be sunny next week, so I'm going to maybe try and get out and do some busking, because this week was just a complete write-off. It was just cold and windy and rainy and horrible, and I just needed a week of nothing, and I've had a glorious week of nothing. Yeah, from Monday onwards, it's looking like it's going to be kind of nice. So fingers crossed, I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, that's really all. I wanted to just quickly come in after my shower and tell you that Bev has got a new camper van, and I'm excited to watch. And I am feeling it's hard. I'm watching so many other YouTubers out there still traveling around and doing their thing, and it is really wanderlust. It's a very hard thing to live and not want to go see some things. I do really miss the sense of awe and wonder that I get when I see a new scenic location and different kinds of scenery, and experience that sense of adventure. It's so in my DNA that sitting still and being quiet is quite a challenge for me. But I made sure this week I had no agendas. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. And I really needed that. I think it was really good for me not to push myself too hard to try and get things done, and worrying about, am I going to be okay if a crisis happens, and have I got enough food supplies and all that kind of stuff. Quick update on Pixie too. I know a lot of you really care about her. She does cough at least once a day, just like one little episode like that. Throat and lung support that Chrissy suggested arrived. It's not a big bottle, but you only need 4 drops of it. It's a herbal remedy for throat and lung support. I'm putting that, so in her morning feed, I'm putting the Hill's Prescription stuff with a bit of water, 4 drops of that, and actually a teaspoon of plain organic Greek yogurt, and a half a teaspoon of gelatin, and I mix all that up, and she is loving that. It's working really well. And her evening meal, because her gut is so healed right now, which is great, I've been able to get her onto chicken necks, and she's never been able to digest normal meat without getting like diarrhea before, and I just thought the cartilage and the bones and stuff, like it might help her. again, when I try something new with her, I, you know, try a very small amount and then see how she goes. She is loving that. She's every night now she's having a chicken neck and then a little bit of the hills as well. So obviously my goal would be for her to not need the hills prescription diet at all, but because I've experimented so many times over the years with her on various types of meats and things, I know not to push my luck. So I think the combination at the moment where I know she's getting healing, healthy things in her diet with the yogurt, with the probiotics and things like that, the nutrition in whatever's in the hills, obviously they've got vitamins and minerals and things that they added as well, the hills prescription. Gastrointestinal biome, mainly corn and grains and fillers and lots of fiber to make her digestive system work. I'm not a huge fan of anything that's comes out of a packet, to be honest with you, and I'd rather not give it to my dog. So just by supplementing with these few little things like the gelatin and the chicken neck and the yogurt, I feel like I'm supporting her gut in a natural way. And obviously we're looking for complete healing, but obviously she does have residual lung disease from our exposure to the mold. That's pretty much confirmed now, because she does have that occasional cough, and I just have to be really careful about not exposing her to any more environmental toxins and things that can exacerbate that. But other than that, she's happy as a clam. We're back to walking. Yeah, you heard me say walking. Yeah. And yeah, we're both feeling really good. I mean, I'm the same. I'm on a healing diet myself, and for me that's primarily carnivore. I kind of rotate between mince, lamb chops, steak, whatever's on special, and I have been having some of the plain organic Greek yogurt as well as a sort of a nice little treat. And my health has never been better. I'm feeling so well at the moment physically. As far as the rheumatoid goes, it seems to be 100% under control. Hallelujah. So life is pretty good, and yeah, I've just got a few little bits and bobs that I need to get organized for the truck, and honestly just learning how to be still. And I know I was going to tell you about the stalker story, and I will talk more about that. I kind of was getting into that when I was in the mechanic with regards to my interaction stuff, but anyway, there's just been too much else happening this week in amongst all this quietness that well, mainly yesterday really with the mechanic, and I've been, yeah, I will tackle that story. I promise I'll do another video very soon. But thank you all for watching. I hope I'm not too boring at the moment. That's been my concern, is that when I watch all these other people on their adventurous road tripping lives, and I'm thinking, oh, am I a bit boring now? I still have plenty I want to talk to you guys about, but and I am still contemplating going back on the road, but I am in a wait and see holding pattern, like many of us are at the moment, to see what's happening in this crazy world of ours. But in the meantime, stay focused on positivity, gratitude, contentedness with my lot, with my environment, with life and good humans, and just enjoying solitude and peace. And I hope you're doing the same. Love you. See ya.